Alright, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man Tell No Tales. I'll try to keep this one short and simple, but I tend to ramble, so if I do, I apologize. I'll start off by saying I really enjoyed all the pirate movies in general. Even the last one I enjoyed. Very forgettable on Stranger Tides, but I still enjoyed it when I saw it. And this movie, I think, is the second or third best Pirates movie, depending on what you qualify 2 and 3 as, because 2 and 3 are kind of like an elongated movie. And if you consider it as one elongated movie, this is the second best one because this works well as a standalone. But if you can assume Dead Man's Chest was the second one, I really like Dead Man's Chest, and I think if you forget about how it ends and how it leads into the other one, if you only look at that one as one movie, I think it works better as a standalone movie. Is this the second best one? But basically, what I'm saying is better than the last one, better than the third one, because the third one was just so long and boring. And this movie is not long and boring. I think it's over 2 hours. I think, but it doesn't feel that. It feels like a crisp hour 30. That's what it feels like. I know it's longer than that. Though there are a couple moments where it feels long in the tooth, but the overall movie itself enjoyable. And I like the whole franchise. I think the way the third one starts off is actually really strong with that whole they're singing the pirate song. I think that's really strong. I think the first one is one of my favorite movies. Curse the Black Pearl. I don't know where it would fit in my top whatever, but it'd be up there. I look back, I rewatched the movie several times, and this definitely helps inspire moments like the first one. What I think this does really well is introduce new, interesting characters, surprisingly. Will Turner's son and the girl who's considered a witch, but she just practices astronomy, I think are both actually very well done, cool characters that, if they wanted to spin this off in the future, could work. I think they're both reminiscent of Jack Sparrow, mixed with each of what I'd consider their counterparts, where she's kind of like Elizabeth Swann's counterpart, obviously strong female character. He's kind of a Will Turner anecdote, even though he's his son. That's not the word I meant, but he's reminiscent of Will Turner, but mixed with Jack Sparrow, kind of like the best of both of them. He's kind of a bumbling wannabe pirate idiot, and also someone who's honorable and wants to do the right thing, which is really what I think Jack Sparrow is at the end of the day. He doesn't show it, and in this movie he's much more of his drunken self, I think, in other movies. I think if you look at it a certain way, I'll explain later, I think it works really well if you think that his character is kind of depressed from losing his best friends in Will Turner and Elizabeth Swann. And I think it makes it a very satisfying ending too. I'll get to that later. But it does very well in introducing these new characters. And Salazar, the enemy, I think, while I don't think he's a good character, he's kind of one note. It also makes sense that he's one note because he's been trapped in a cave for years because of Jack Sparrow, so he's just all about killing Jack Sparrow. So I think he actually is kind of frightening. I think the CGI they use for the dead pirates also definitely separates them from the other dead pirates he's had to face before. Definitely different than the skeletons from the first one. Definitely different from the sea monsters in the second, and third one, the Davy Jones people. And what it does bad, I'll get to that first because the last really good thing I want to save for later. What it does bad is kind of, I blame the marketing, but also doesn't make sense in the movie. You think that Will Turner is going to be in it more than he is, and I'm just going to say that he's not really in it. But it would make sense in the movie for him to be. There's a certain thing that happens with his son where it's like, all right, Will Turner would have showed up right here, and then he doesn't. It wouldn't make sense for that. So I think that's bad. I think the way that Jack's crew in the beginning kind of doesn't trust him as much as they should, I think that really doesn't make sense, and the way and the flashbacks that are in the movie kind of make it even less understanding why that would happen. It kind of seems like they want to end Jack Sparrow as he's Jack Sparrow, but not really explain why it would turn against him. I think that it's not well done. But besides that, I really enjoy the movie. I think it does action fun. I think all these movies have over-the-top action, and this movie kind of starts off where it's like, right, this is the kind of movie it does a very ridiculous thing. And I think this is kind of where the movie fights with itself a little bit, because it starts off this ridiculous thing, but then also wants us to take it seriously later, even leading up to a quote unquote sacrifice later on, where it's like, I don't think that would make sense in a movie where you start off building a building through the city. It's very over the top, but very fun, and it kind of knows what it is for the most part. It knows what these pirate movies are, but also tries to be serious at heart. And when it does pull off that seriousness, what it does introduce us to new characters, it works very well. And I think it works best as where we're all while going through this, I was like, do I like this, or do I just enjoy this? There's a difference. Enjoy would be like okay, this is fun, but I'm going to forget this later on. But like, I'm going to remember this because it is a good end to the franchise. It kind of ends the negative things that happen at the end of 3, where it's like, okay, finally the ramifications for what we did in the first 3 movies, it has reached a happy ending. And it also doesn't, what you want from a character like Jack Sparrow is not for a story to end, but what does it ends in a place where it's like, okay, he goes on and does more adventures, and I feel like that's the way it ended, and made it a good end to the franchise, where yes, they can continue it, they probably will, but this is also a good narrative ending, where I feel like the ending to 3 was not a good narrative ending, because we were both left with a Jack Sparrow doing more adventures, but you could just tell that he was sad, because Johnny Depp still does do some acting with Jack Sparrow, and at the end of this, there's a moment where you can just see his contentness. He's finally happy in a way, but also, not completely happy. He's still going to go on adventures, and I like the way that ends the franchise in a way that none of the other movies have. And while this could still continue, I think it will continue. And I'm going to see the other ones. I think in my headcanon, this is where it ends. And while there are moments in the middle where it's long in the tooth, where some of the sea battles are a bit overplayed, I think overall it's fun. Overall it knows what it is. It has those serious moments. It introduces us to new, exciting characters, which I could see in a spin-off that doesn't involve Jack Sparrow, believe it or not. I think they have enough Jack Sparrow in them to make it good. And man, I was way off on my not rambling thing. I apologize. I give this a 7 out of 10. I probably enjoy it more than that, but it's just a solid 7 out of 10 movie. I would suggest go seeing it, especially if you like these movies. You will like this one, and it is going to be more memorable than On Stranger Tides, because what happened in that movie. In fact, let me know what happened in that movie down below. Don't actually look it up. If you actually know, I want only wrong answers below. Tell me what On Stranger Tides was about, just based on the title. Please like, share, and subscribe. See you guys next time.